Well, thank you everyone for staying with us on the program. It's time we get to bring you the papers now so we can bring you all of the big headlines across national dailies today. But that will be right after this short break. Do stay with us. Okay, time to turn to the papers, but let's quickly announce that Queen Agaba has joined the program this morning, so it's a duo now. So Queen, welcome to Global Morning, second time around this week.
Second time around this week, and it's always a pleasure to have to be on Global Morning with you.
Right.
I trust you have a beautiful
night. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, sure it was, but it was short. So I wanted it to be a little more extensive, but that didn't happen.
Of course, you have to be here early.
Yes, for a 7 a.m. show, right?
Sure.
Yeah, right. So we're just going to look at the papers for you, Queen and I, this morning, but we'll kickstart with our first paper, the Nation newspaper. Again, Yahaya Bello, immediate past governor of Kogi State, one many people now say is embattled, is still in the news big time. A picture of him there is accompanying a headline above the nameplate of the Nation newspaper. It says, pro-EFCC, pro-Yahaya Bello protesters at agency headquarters. To do what? Well, you can find out on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. How I received $600,000 for Emefiele, ex-CBN director, tells court. So the Emefiele narrative is becoming more like the Abacha loot conversation, but this is a case that is ongoing. Edo workers to earn 70,000 Naira minimum wage from May. Ayedatiwa gets APC certificate of return. This is on page 3, the one that has to do with the 70,000 Naira minimum wage for Edo workers. Queen is not a civil servant. Maybe she would have been wishing she was in Edo State's civil service now, because, you know, there had been these fights to say, let's make minimum wage 30,000. Of course, it's been 30,000 since 2019. Edo States raised its own about 2 years ago to 40,000, and now they've raised it to 70,000. The governor says it's in light of the economic hardship now being faced by Nigerians. And of course, Labour has been clamoring for an upward review of the minimum wage. At the point they had asked for 1 million, later they said it's 500,000. But some economists are saying Labour will likely, I mean, at some point, there's going to be most likely an understanding between the government and Labour to peg it at something in the neighborhood of 100,000. But those state government seems to be getting ahead of the competition, so to say, as they say in business, right, by saying, look, we're moving this thing to 70,000 Naira.
That's a good one. That's a good one, following all of the hardships that we're experiencing now as a country. But we must be honest, to be honest with ourselves, with how the prices of goods and services have
skyrocketed lately, right?
Tripled, if not more than tripled the initial prices. I'm tempted to ask, what can 70,000 Naira do as regards transport? We're talking about fuel price. Fuel price is, if care is not taken, is going to go to 8,000 Naira.
We are here, he's already doing excess, I mean, upwards of 1,000 Naira in some cities.
So this is This is, but we commend the Edo State government for that initiative. But I think that minimum wages in all states, in all parts of the country
should be reviewed upward.
reviewed.
You know, there's also the narrative of how that this is most likely a political move by the state governor after election is just a few months away and all of that. His party is in the ballot. He's what some people have called his beneficiary is in the ballot as well. So doesn't make any difference. The important thing is that workers get a better life.
And then and that this is consistent. This move and this act of you know consideration.
So let's not have backlog.
Yes, exactly. Let's not have this build up. This this welcome initiative in the build up to the election, and then after the election
we go back to normal.
Go back to status quo. So we hope that this is consistent and it
stays constant, right?
Constant.
Right. But we have a few other headlines this morning for you. NERC, that is the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, okays 81,975, 143,836 for meters. All right. Tribunal stops multi-choice rates hike. That conversation has been here for many years. But the Star story reads, money laundering probe, EFCC swoops on 1,146 bank accounts. Court okays freezing of accounts for unauthorized forex dealings, terror financing. Right, and if you take it down the page, the front page of the Nation newspaper, that is, we need $100 billion in 10 years to fix electricity, says minister, yet we need several trillions as well to also fix infrastructure in this country in the next 30 years. No supply, no payments of new rates. Minister has said that customers or consumers who do not enjoy an accumulated or, as they say, cumulative 20 hours of power supply a day should not pay the new rates. Okay, but hopefully that doesn't become a basis for some sort of face-off between consumers and the power distributors. Senators seek reversal of tariff hike. Petrol scarcity leaves Nigerians stranded with a rider that says queues linger in Lagos, Abuja, major cities. What's more, at the foot of the page, book on writing for media and monetizing it for presentation. You find all of that on page 26 of the Nation newspaper. Yes, our next port of call is, let's see what that is now, will be the First News. Yes, First News is our next port of call, and Queen has that paper for us.
On the front page of the First newspaper, we see Governor Diri swears in commissioners. Local government chairman emphasizes fiscal responsibility. Also, we have DIA's Tales by Moonlight, an afterthought by First News editor. Okay, just underneath the nameplate, we have NFF appoints Finidi George, new Super Eagles head coach. Banks in Nigeria lose 18 billion naira to fraudsters in 2023. NIBSS report. We also have court holds planned price hike for DSTV GoTV subscription. I think this is what's taking note of. A lot of consumers have, come out to say, look, we're not going to this increase in the price of DSTV fees, subscription fees. Right. We're not going to. We're going to fall back to using YouTube. I mean, if we have internet connections, why don't we just get it connected to our television, right? Rather than pay the. For some people, they consider it exorbitant. We also have Naira shows resilience, rebounds to 1,275 Naira per dollar at parallel market. The big story here is JAMB releases 2024 UTME results. Over 8,400 score 300 and above. Over 8,400 people score 300 and above. Exam records more female enrollees. Candidates can check scores via SMS, no need for CBT centers. We also have Emefiele receives $600,000 bribes from contractors. Witness testifies in court. Okay, and then we also have fuel scarcity. Marketers blame NNPC supply challenges. That's that for first newspaper. Our next paper
With the Vanguard
will be
newspaper.
the Vanguard newspaper.
That's right. So let's bring you the Vanguard real quick, everyone. We'll begin with the star story on the front page of the Vanguard. All right. It says, fare hike, travelers, commuters grown as fuel scarcity bites harder. A couple of riders, about 4 of them, accompanying that headline. We have adopted new strategy to end shortage. That's Memman. It will take a few days to eliminate queues. NNPC task force raids filling stations in Ilorin warns against hoarding, as Lagos government warns against creating gridlock on roads. And then above the nameplates, illegal forex trading, court okays EFCC's request to freeze 1,146 bank accounts. $10 billion required annually for 10 years to fix power sector FG. DSTV, GoTV rates hike, tribunal stops multi-choice. Terrorism financing, court charges FG over shoddy prosecution of Chukaro Mamu. 2024 UTME JAMB releases 1,842,464 candidates results withholds 64,624. 2024 UTME JAMB releases 1,842,464 candidates results withholds 64,624. That's interesting. We're told that universities will have to do so much of screening this year, because you also have to pass the post UTME for you to be considered for admission into universities and other tertiary institutions. And a bit of sports, NFF appoints Finidi Judge as coach of Super Eagles. Well, that's interesting, and it's been a long time coming. This a guy who has played played international football for at least upwards of 3 decades. Comes with a lot of experience, but now there's some, if you like, closure to the issue of who succeeds Jose Peseiro. Yes. Business Days are next port of call, and Queen has the headlines for us.
Our Business Day newspaper, we have lives at risk as 26.3 billion naira medical emergency fund eludes hospitals. Kegs back as scarcity spreads, petrol nears 1,000 naira per litre. Marketers expect normalcy next week. Naira falls to 2-month low of 1,419.11 naira per dollar as foreign inflows slow. Do the numbers justify DSTV's 3rd rate hike in 1 year? This is a question that should be given answers as soon as possible. That's that for the Business Day newspaper.
Right, so we have
our next paper,
which is Daily Independent. Yeah, we begin that from the headlines above the name masts. FG must invest $10 billion annually for improved electricity, and nobody's talking to us about the $16 billion that we had also invested before. The former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, says anybody who is interested in that story should go read up his book. Our senators urge reversal of tariff increase. Court orders EFCC to freeze 1,146 accounts of individuals, companies. Corruption allegation, Kayamo demarketing Nigeria aviation sector experts. Say aircraft leasing insurance premiums may rise over action. Minister trying to justify interference into NCAA jurisdiction. NGX Group set to digitize process of banks recapitalization exercise. Pay TV operators have the choice to fix prices. Bandits kill driver, abduct two on Abuja Kaduna highway. Quite a sad story there. 4 killed, others injured as herdsmen attack Enugu community. Obaseki increases scheduled workers' minimum wage to 70,000 naira. Lagos constitutes maiden cybersecurity advisory board in Nigeria. You can take a look at those stories when you read details for yourself from today's issue of the Daily Independent newspaper. Let's turn to the Daily Times for you.
On the Daily Times newspaper, the front page of the Daily Times newspaper, we have the big story there: how I collected $600,000 contract gratification for Emefiele, ex-CBN director. Says as embattled ex-Apex Bank governor challenges Lagos court jurisdiction to try him. And at the top of the nameplate we have JAMB releases 2024 UTME results with 64,624 results under investigation. Tinubu reiterates Nigeria's plans to build digital market. FG requires $10 billion to revive power sector, minister says, and fuel scarcity bites hard. Lagos residents groan. Detained hostages, negotiator Manu seeks transfer from prison, from DSS to prison. We also have Obaseki increases minimum wage for Edo workers to 70,000 naira. That's that for the Daily Times newspaper. Our next paper would be the Daily Trust.
Okay, let's take a look at the Daily Trust quickly for you this morning. On the front page of the Daily Trust, big story, of course, is about fuel as expected. It says, while petrol scarcity persists, marketers, what are the reasons? Well, you can find it yourself when you pick up a copy of Daily Trust today and flip straight to the 4th page. The two writers say work resumption disrupted in Lagos, Ogun. Transporters hike fares as expected. And then you take it down a little. FG to Nigerians, accept tariff hike or total blackouts. Senate kicks. A bandit sacked me from my 10,000 hectares farm, Bafarawa. That's former governor of Sokoto State. 4 killed as gunmen attack mourners in Enugu community. ASP syndicate arrested over abduction of 5 minors. That's worrisome. And then just beneath the nameplates, Uni Abuja female student died in accidents, family. Okay, that story has been a while now, but this appears to be some clarification, especially since it's coming from the family of the later female students. Forex deals. CBN stops 4 fintechs from onboarding new customers. Yesterday, some of the names actually came out. Names of those 4 fintechs that have been now prevented or prohibited from onboarding new customers. All right. NFF appoints Finidi George as Super Eagles head coach. So for those of us who have been asking for an indigenous coach, I'm sure your prayer has now been answered. All right, so let's take it to the Leadership newspaper, which Queen has.
On the Leadership, the front page of the Leadership newspaper, just above the nameplate, we have don't pay new tariff without 20 hours electricity. The minister is ordering. Finidi George is new coach of Super Eagles, of course, as we see in other papers. PT releases Azu's book on media content and money. Tinubu's stance on electoral reforms unclear, says Yaga Africa. Supply glitch worsens fuel scarcity. Supply glitch worsens fuel scarcity nationwide, says we have not had supplies in 2 weeks. The marketers Petrol queues linger, motorists and commuters stranded. If crisis persists, we will intervene. The Senate is saying that if the crisis increase, we will intervene. And NNPCL keeps norm.
The NNPC had said, look, this is caused by logistics. NNPC, yes, exactly. That is not a matter of availability. That, look, we have enough
Fuel.
stock, yes, to run for even several weeks. But then we have issues with logistics. And you're asking yourself, at what point did this issue of logistics come up? What were the factors that necessitated it? Is it like we now suddenly have fewer trucks on the road, maybe fewer drivers? Is Ipman on strike? The petrol tankers drivers union, is it on strike? Because there must be a reason for all of this. Our people say there's no smoke without fire.
Okay.
All right, what exactly has led to this? Because you see, it's not enough to tell people it's logistics. That's ambiguous. That's vague. Give them specific information. What has happened? Is there a strike by any of the, excuse me, crucial unions? Is it possible that there's some maybe back and forth going on between stakeholders in the industry? So why are we having a logistics specific problem? Nobody's providing that clarification. Yes.
Hopefully we get clarity on that. We also have on the front page of the leadership newspaper, EFCC, pro Yaya Bello protesters clash in Abuja. You find that on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. We also have only 108 senators can decide Ningi's fate, according to the Senate. Ganduje probe, Kano Commission seeks useful information. And lastly, on the leadership newspaper, we have court stops multi-choice from increasing DSTV and GoTV rates. Honestly, this will be the third time in a year that the rates are being
raised.
Yes, and Nigerians are complaining. Nigerians are seeking alternative measures, but we see that the court has made efforts to ensure that, you know,
they block efforts to review rates upward. So
That's
I think we're moving to the New Telegraph.
Telegraph.
Right. So let's bring you the big story from the News Telegraph, everyone. It says, as fuel scarcity bites harder, TUC blames PMS shortage on FG's delay in activating Port Harcourt refinery operations. All right. That story has a writer, by the way. Okay. Then further down, we have headlines that say, Air Peace aircraft makes emergency landing at Lagos Airport. Okay, and then Lagos State Government, Sanwo-Olu, didn't increase minimum wage. Insecurity, thousands flee Niger community as army withdraws men. Sounds like people are not feeling vulnerable following the withdrawal of men by the army. 119 inmates escape as heavy rains destroy Suleja Custodial Center. Okay, that story is a bit of a back news item now, because that has happened in a while. Okay, so I think we're going to News Direct next now.
Okay, for News Direct, on the front page of the News Direct newspaper, we see that black market resurfaces as Lagos Ogun commuters beg for relief as PMS supply worsens. Product sales above 900 naira per litre. Obaseki approves new minimum wage of 70,000 naira for Edo workers. Abeokuta gas explosion, Ogun seeks Gasco Marine. Lagos establishes cybersecurity advisory board. So Naira appreciates by 5.93% on parallel market. We see a picture, a big picture there. We have NCDMB investment yield profits as Walter Smith pays 450 million naira interim dividend from Modular Refinery. Mobile channel most vulnerable as financial institutions lose 17.67 billion naira to fraudsters in 2023. That's about the News Direct newspaper. Our next point of call would be the Punch Sports.
Yeah, the Punch Sports. Yeah, let's take a look at the Punch Sports for you. Finidi George being made the new coach of the Super Eagles. I mean, the head coach. Is a big story. Finidi is a solid choice for Eagles. That's what the caption says, with a picture of the veteran ex-international. All right. Silva confirms Chelsea exits. NFF owes me dead coaches. Chukwu, that's Christian Chukwu there talking. Says 19 years after leaving his position as head coach of the Super Eagles, the NFF has yet to pay him. All right. City lucky against Forest. Pep. Arsenal fan composes Harvest chant. Then at the very top of it, you have a picture there of Hurricane. Says Bavarians, Los Blancos clash in UCL semis. And then Mo Salah in an ecstatic mode. That's what the picture depicts. But the caption reads, Liverpool brace for £150 million Salah offers. That's a whole lot of money right now, isn't it? But then, what can we say? It's football. Red stood to swap Nonens for Osimhen. These are all stories coming out from today's issue of the Punch Sports Extra. But Queen will take us now to the Punch newspaper itself.
The Punch newspaper, on the front page of the Punch newspaper, just as we see on other papers, the big story there is petrol hits 800 naira as 240 million litre vessels arrive. 5 tanker vessels offloading PMS at Lagos port. Independent marketers sell over 800 naira per litre. Black marketers charge 1,200 naira per litre. Motorists groan. Commuters lament rising transport fare. But I mean, I was just put this. I was seeing a video yesterday where somebody was. It's funny, but this is not funny.
Right.
But somebody was saying that in a petrol station, I don't want to mention the name of the filling station. The guy put out a video out of frustration and lamenting that it is not enough that fuel is scarce, or you know, the pump price has gone up in that area, but they're being forced to buy meat pie before you can buy fuel.
So it's a precondition for being able to buy fuel.
Nigeria.
They didn't add a bottle of soft drink to it to say you need something to wash it down naturally.
I mean, and I can laugh about it now, but at that point, I could feel his frustration.
Yeah, my principal calls it ransom. They are being held to ransom.
Ransom.
Yes.
And the ransom has to be, you know.
It's on the spot.
Yeah. You have to buy meat pie to get fuel.
Right.
Yeah, I think we can do better
Than that. We're exploiting the situation. We're making the bad situation even far worse.
Yeah, far worse. Also, above the nameplate of the Punch newspaper, we have EFCC probes 1,146 frozen accounts for money laundering. Also, FG begins fresh bid rounds for oil blocks. Customers panic as CBN bans OPay, PalmPay, others new accounts. Edo workers hail Obaseki over 70,000 naira minimum wage. Tinubu will end economic sabotage, Shetima tells African leaders. Of course, we see a picture of the vice president there at a summit. $2.4 billion forex claims fictitious. I beg your pardon. 2.4 billion naira forex claims fictitious, says CBN. Nurse accuses Lagos hospital of negligence over wife son's death. 1.4 million UTME candidates scored below 200, according to JAMB. And that's that about the Punch newspaper. Our next point of call will be the Tribune. The Tribune,
yeah. The Tribune, of course, has quite a number of headlines for you as well. And that happens to be our very last paper for you. During this segment, big story reads, FX crisis, CFCC to freeze 1,146 individual company accounts. Black marketers have a field day as petrol sells for 1,000 naira per litre. What do I expect? The writer says filling stations sell fuel between 650 naira and 900 naira Kills transportation situation worsen, residents groan. And then take it above the nameplates, a picture of Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Kayamo, SAN, says Labour set to picket airlines over refusal to unionize workers. And then next to it is a headline with a picture of Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki. Edo to pay 70,000 naira minimum wage. Sounds like a pace-setting move. Nigeria must spend $10 billion yearly till 2034 to revive power sector, says Minister. Senate opposes new tariff regime. So this appears like the executive and the legislature are on two different pages. I mean, two sides of the coin, actually. They don't seem to be on the same page with regards to this particular matter. Okay, account holders accused of illegal forex dealings, terrorism financing, money laundering. Another headline says, my suspension plot tied to 2027 Ganduje. Over 30 Easter advert messages failed compliance tests. That's ARCON. Okay, and what's more, IMF projects growth in sub-Saharan Africa economy to hit 3.8%. Nigeria's economy has escaped sabotage phase. President Tinubu is the one there talking. UTME results, 8,401 candidates score above 300. That sounds like some sort of low. With a rider that reads, JAMB withholds results of 64,624 candidates. Prioritize workers, Nigerians' welfare. Labour tells FG, says poverty killing workers. We can't have that conversation enough, Queen, can we?
Yeah, we can.
Incidentally, that's what we're leaving it with the papers, everyone. And we do hope you take out time this morning, make it a priority to look at papers for yourself in details, read up all of those details of each of those headlines we brought to you today, so you can stay ahead of the news and stay ahead of your game as well. Coming up next will be our first discussion this morning with our guest. Do stay with us, everyone.